Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 13 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. 43 of the best sim racers getting ready to do battle for 162 laps around this 1.5-mile oval. Tim Terry, Nim Cross here to call all the action for you, and Nim, this is going to be exciting. This is a race last season where we saw a dark horse, Steve Sheehan, come up from pro and win his first ever race. Could we see somebody else shake the ground like he did last season?
Well, there's no doubt today we could see almost anybody win this race, and there are a lot of factors here that are a surprise or inconsistencies for this week's race. We're racing on a new tire model, which means that these guys just got this new tire last week in new physics, and they're running, and pretty much everything's up in the air. This is their first race on this tire in the heat of competition, and they don't know what to expect. Right now they have a lot of good ideas on what the tire does in practice, but they have no idea what it's going to do in this race.
And the one big thing that we've seen here, we talk about drivers being locked in. There's none of that here. Richard Towler had a dismal qualifying run. He did not qualify for this evening's race, so Richard Towler will be watching from the hauler and not from the race car. And Richard Towler finished 5th last season, and with his season that he's had so far, that's a real tough break for the defending champ.
Yeah, he's the defending champion, and you don't make the race. He screwed up his qualifying time. He doesn't get to make the race, and there is no provisionals. If you're the top 50 guys trying to go for this, to get in this race, if you don't make it, you're out. And Richard Towler, last year's champion, does not make this race, and he's going to suffer for it. But they do get 2 drop weeks. The problem with that is, Tim, is Richard's already had a couple of bad races, and he needs that race.
And he is running for the top 25 in the point standings to be locked into the 2012 edition of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Top 10 in points. Ray Alfala currently leads Brad Wright, but Brad Wright has a battle on his hands, the young rookie. 2 points up on Thomas Hazard, and of course this is before drop weeks. You look at Brian Schoenberg in 4th, Tyler Hudson 5th. Brad Davies, last season's runner-up, sits in 6th. 7th belongs to John Gorlinski, Josh Parker, Derek Wood, and Josh Berry round out your top 10 after 12 events.
Ray Alfala has certainly been the most consistent driver this year, and it's showing with a 31-point lead right now. As long as he has a decent race, he's going to come out of here with the points lead. 1 point for position in the race standings. So as long as he doesn't finish in the bottom 10, he should be okay.
We talked about drivers that could very well shake the ground here and shake the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship to its core. How about the 19 car of Matt Santel? He raced a few races at the start of the season, Nim, but this brand new tire model has sparked that number 19, the Obata Gaming Cockpits number 19, to come back, and he is doing very well so far here tonight. 3rd in the warm-up session. He's going to roll off 15th. He could very well be one of those drivers that could walk away with a win here this evening.
Matt is somebody with kind of a storied past. He was a developer for Papyrus way back in the days, and he helped work on the first NASCAR and IndyCar sims. He worked on GPL. He was one of the developers for Papyrus back in the day. He has a long string of championships, league championships, a great driver throughout his sim racing past, and this new tire model has breathed some new life into Matt's driving here lately, up in the top 15 and doing very well. But Matt is one of the most experienced drivers out here on the circuit.
Another driver lightning quick is Chris Main in the number 38. Chris Main qualified in position number 5. He is practicing right now in position number 2, and he moves down to 3rd as Derek Wood hops to the top of the board in the warm-up session. So that's a good thing to see. And the one thing that I do like about this new build that came out last week, Nim, the scoring pylon in the middle of this racetrack, it updates as the practice times update. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of environmental changes. There'll be a blimp floating around, things like that. The scoring pylon is pretty awesome, so you can actually check the standings as you're driving by, and all the spectators here today will be able to look at the scoring pylon and see the updated standings as we go along.
Drivers making the final couple of adjustments to their race cars before we do go racing. About a minute left before these drivers head to the grid 43 cars strong. As we mentioned, there was 5 pros try to make this race. We also had 2 drivers in the NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship that did not make it. We mentioned Richard Towler, also Jordan Hightower had problems in the qualifying session. The GSRacing.net Chevrolet will not qualify, and that's a tough break for him as he's trying to get up there and get those final extra points to try to get him some momentum into pro. We talked to him last week on Hot Lap Radio. He said the top 25 probably out of the question, but you need to have some momentum heading it down the final stretch of this season.
The drivers you see out there right now, they're practicing pit stops. They're doing their last-minute adjustments, as Tim said. But right now, you'll see some of the guys run down pit road, kind of see where the pit stall is. They just did finish up qualifying a few seconds before we hit the air, and we'll go down that order in a second. But last-minute adjustments, finding your pit stall, just doing the routine stuff to get yourself in the mood to go racing here in just a few minutes.
Big race field, 162 laps. As Nim mentioned, brand new tire model on these race cars. Everybody wants to come out of Atlanta with a good finish. If you're up there in points, if you're not up there in points, that checkered flag is going to be very, very pivotal. Drivers will head to the grid here, and we will go down our starting grid for this evening's racing action. 162 laps at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and on the pole, 21. John Gorlinski, 28.002. And to the outside, last year's winner in this race, Steve Sheehan.
Josh Parker lined up on the inside of the second row in that third spot. Ray Alfalo will be on his right-hand side in fourth.
Great qualifying runs for Chris Main in the 38. He will start 5th, and John Prather, 45, will start in 6th.
Thomas Hazard will go 7th in the number 9 car, and starting 8th will be number 54, Derek Wood.
Patrick Fogel will roll off from position number 9, and to his outside is 72, Josh Berry.
Brad Davies goes 11th. Alongside him, Brad Wright in the number 12 car, the 48 car.
Jordan Erickson starts 85 from 13th. 14th is the 16 of Thomas Lewandowski.
Starting 15th on the inside, Matt Santel. On the outside of him, it'll be Brian Schoenberg.
Richie Davidowitz rolls the 25 from position 17, and 18th is the 97 of Jamison Spieth.
Going 19th, Daniel Pope the second. 20th, Connor McKenzie.
Robert Hall rolls the 30 from 21st. 22nd is the 06 of Nolan Scott as the pace car rolls off.
Starting 23rd in the number 4 car, Florian Goddard, and right next to him in the 24th spot is Pedro Mojica.
Josh Connors in the 15 is 25th. 26th is the 92 with Jason Anderson.
Brian Daly is 27th. 28th, Gene Costa.
Jesse Atchison rolls the 28 from 29th, and 30th is Matthew Moose.
Charles Cosper will line up 31st, and alongside of him in 32nd position, Jeremy R. Allen.
Tyler Hudson rolls from 33rd. 34th is Brian Blackford.
35th, Joshua Lofton. 36th, Chad Coleman.
Stephen Gilbert will roll off 37th, and 38th is the 90 of Greg Spears.
Justin Lowry will go 39th, and 40th, Vinny Sansoni.
Welcome back to the series. 61, Sandeep Banerjee, former winner here in the series. Andrew Fayash III will roll off 42nd, and 43rd, our elder statesman, Dana Weimer, in the 27. Cars are headed down the back straightaway. Final thoughts before we go green, Nim. What do we expect over 162 laps?
Should be very exciting. These guys are on a new tire model. They like it. They say that it's good, nice and sticky. It gives them a lot of grip. They're not sliding around on ice cubes like they used to be on the older tire model, and they like where it's starting out, but there's not a whole lot of tire wear, and they should be able to make them last a whole lot. But we're about to enter race conditions for the first time on this tire model. Let's see what happens.
Pace car is in. John Gorlinski going to lead a 43-car field to green. We are underway as the 21 gets out to the lead. The 6 hops down into second. Going to be side-by-side for third. Parker trying to get that position.
Parker does drop into the third spot right there. The top 7 or 8 cars single file as they come off corner number 2, and they're sorting out back to further pack. So everybody looking to get single file and getting running order for the first lap.
Ray Alfala in the number 2, looking over the 81, Josh Parker. That's the battle for position number 3 as the 81 tries to look over the number 6 of Steve Sheehan. Very, very early in this race, and I think we'll start to see after about lap number 5, Nim, some of these drivers that may not be accustomed to this new tire model yet fall back, and some of these guys that like to save tires come towards the front.
Yeah, I think right now they just want to get sorted out and get a feel for everything, but I think you're right. Once they do get a feel for things, they're going to try to work their way to the front. one the things that the drivers have been talking about so far with this new tire model, the new series, is the aero effects. They are getting a lot of aero push off of the cars in front of them, so it's making it difficult for them to pass each other. But so we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if anybody can make a pass and to see if anybody is able to challenge with the new aero effects.
Brad Davies to the inside in car number 11, looking over the 51 of Patrick Fogel. The 48 of Brad Wright is there as well. Brad Wright, the leading rookie in the series, looking to make a move on Patrick Fogel.
Brad Davies does pick up that 11th position, and Fogel has to drop back to 12. 3 behind him is Brad Wright, and he's in the run coming off of corner number 2, looking to the inside down the back straightaway, and he does have position going into corner 3.
Here comes Wright to the inside line, 51 on the outside of Patrick Fogel, and it looks like he will lose at least one position. That's Thomas Lewandowski to his rear and now to his inside. Here comes the Wrangler Chevrolet Impala looking to pick up a spot.
Lewandowski still to the inside of Fogel to go around to see Brian Schoenberg. Great back with Fogel right there coming up for number 2. Schoenberg's going to be that next car who wants to pick up that position, but he's not able to get there yet. Going down to corner 3, Schoenberg will dive to the inside. Fogel still fighting hard on the outside.
Brian told me he's driving chassis 55-7. He's not sure what to expect with this brand new tire model. He said if he comes out with a top 20 finish, it's going to be a win for that number 55 Inside Sim Racing Chevrolet as he works underneath the number 51, the 85. Next on the list, the Oboto Gaming Cockpits, number 85 of Jordan Erickson trying to make a position.
Still fighting side by side with Schoenberg going down to corner number 3. Fogel doing a good job up there on that outside line. It looks like he might be able to fall back down to the bottom of the inside now.
Just a couple of positions behind them, it's Connor McKenzie, number 10, looking over the 19 car of Matt Sentel. Sentel falling back early in the going. The 18 of Daniel Pope, the second is there as well. Nolan Scott battling side by side with, I do believe that's Pedro Mojica. Some of these drivers getting single filed in, but some of them trying to pick up these quick spots.
Yeah, it looks like somebody is making a position up on somebody. They go high and they're having a little bit of difficulty getting back down the line, but everybody's sold out now. Everybody's single file. And now is where we're going to get to see, who has the better setups, who's going to be able to make a challenge up through the field in this race.
Your leader is old John Gorlinski. Steve Sheehan runs in second. Josh Parker, Ray Alfala, and Chris Main, your top 5. They haven't changed. Brian Schoenberg, though, under fire from the number 85 at Jordan Erickson. And here comes the number 25 of Richie Davidowitz. Davidowitz looking to pick up one more.
Erickson and Davidowitz will pick up their spots off of Schoenberg as they come up corner number 4, now looking right behind them. Connor McKenzie picks up the spot on Daniel Pope, and that right there was a battle for the 19th position. So move McKenzie up in the 19th and drop Pope back down to 20th.
And the young one closing in now on Brian Schoenberg in the number 55. That should be for position number 16 once he gets up to the Inside Sim Racing number 55 as Matt Sentel closes in now on Jamison Spieth for position number 18 on the grid. Your top 3 have not changed. It looks like one driver falling back to the pack, though, 45 at John Prather. Prather just lost a position to Josh Berry, and it looks like Derek Wood has also got past that number 45. So John Prather, the Tax Slayer ride, trying to hold on to a top 10 spot. Here comes Brad Davies.
Davies not able to make a challenge right now. Everybody's still single file, but we do see some cars working their way up. A lot of the drivers I was talking to earlier today, they were a little bit worried that, everything feels really good right now and everybody will be running real fast, and with the aero, they might not be able to make a lot of passes, but we've had a fair bit of passing so far early on back in the pack. Another thing the drivers were talking about is they're not getting a whole lot of tire wear so far with the tire brought here to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and so we'll be looking for a lot of tire stops if we have any cautions or during green flag pit stops.
You're right on the roof. John Prather, the number 45, looking up to Josh Berry in front of him in the 72. Derek Wood and Thomas Hazard also within striking distance, and just behind sits Brad Davies in the Whiskey River, number 11. Down the back straightaway we go. We are working the lap number 12 of 162. And the one thing the new tire model hopefully brings us, Nim, and we haven't talked about it a whole lot, is a long green flag run. And so far this race, feeling like we're going to get a lot of green flag running in here.
It does feel like that, Tim. I think with the new tire model, and like I said, these guys seem to have a pretty good handle as far as car setup goes. You don't see anybody running real sideways right now. They're not getting a whole lot of wear right now. And I'm sure as we go forward, the tire manufacturers we're going to adjust and tune, and we'll have probably some more wear as we go on. But this tire that we have here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway doesn't seem to give up a whole lot, and the guys are able to beat it pretty hard and not have to worry about that.
Top 5 have not changed. John Gorlinski remains your leader. It's 0.3 of a second back to Steve Sheehan in car number 6. Josh Parker, Ray Alfala, and Chris Mayne are your top 5, and Chris Mayne in that number 38 wheeling that race car around.
Looks like Richie Davidowitz is very loose on that last lap. He had a pretty good slide. I believe that was through corner number 1 and 2. We'll have to double check, see if we can get a replay on it, but he was able to save it.
And now Schoenberg to the outside, the 10 of Connor McKenzie to the inside, or was to the inside. Richie Davidowitz trying to hold off the 55 of Schoenberg. There was no high line through about the first 15 laps, but Schoenberg wheeling that car up high, trying to make it work. Here comes the 10. The 10 will pick up 1 spot.
Yeah, and the 10 car, that is Connor McKenzie, with a little bit loose coming off corner number 4 there. Schoenberg tries to force his way back down to the inside. He's able to do it, and that's right, Jameson Spies in the 97 car right behind him. Schoenberg able to get back in position, and that is the 17th position that you find Schoenberg in right now.
And it looks like Davidowitz inching away from this battle. The 10 of Connor McKenzie, 55 of Schoenberg, and the battle looks to be that 18 of Daniel Pope closing in on the number 97 of Jameson Spies. That's the battle for position number 18 and 19 at this point. Here comes the 18 down low. Daniel Pope looking for the position on the number 97.
Yeah, Pope still to the inside of Spies. Spies up on the outside. Spies able to hold him off with that momentum coming off of corner number 2. Again, Pope charges down to the inside, tries to get under him, but is not able to make that position.
And give a call out to Robert Hall as well. As you look back from number 97 to Jameson Spies, you see Hall back there in that number 30. So far, so good for Robert Hall, 20th place, and he is working his way to the front of the field as he has a front row seat to the battle in front of him.
If you're unfamiliar with what you're watching here, you're watching these drivers are sitting at home in front of their home computers racing against all the other drivers that you see from around the world at their home computers. So right now you see Jameson Spies battling with Daniel Pope. Jameson racing from his home, battling Daniel Pope, and they're all utilizing the iRacing service to do so. One neat thing about this race is Sandeep Banerjee running in the 38th position right now. He's from India, Tim, and he's racing with all these other competitors from India back here to the U.S.
And right now, Sandeep looking to pick up a few spots back there, but he's mired deep in this field in 38th place right now and battling Florian Goddard, who comes to us from France. So a very international feel to this race at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. John Gorlinski continues to lead as you ride on board with Brad Davies in the number 11, looking ahead to John Prather, and he's going to look to the inside of Prather this time. That's the battle for position number 8. Move the 11 on the inside and up to position number 8.
Davies doing a good job there out front, picking up that position. We're starting to, the guy, like I said earlier, the guys are a little worried about a little bit about passing and the aero effects, stuff like that. And it looks like they are able to get some passing done as now Josh Berry has his sights set on John Prather as they come off corner number 2.
Josh Berry in the number 72, looking to advance his 10th place position on lap number 21, the 45. Great run so far for John Prather as they come up at a corner number 472 with a great run, but nowhere to put it.
Yeah, he's about 2 car lengths behind, nowhere to go right now. And that's one thing, qualifying, Tim, these guys can get a good qualifying lap in and start up front. But you really got to work on your race setup too, and you got to be good in the race. If you're not, you're just going to fall backwards right now. And we'll see some of these guys who qualified further back, who have worked hard on the race setups, working their way through the front early on here.
Brad Wright just behind this battle as well, 48, and he is bringing Thomas Lewandowski, and Toll Lewandowski sitting in position number 12 in the 16, and it almost looks like there's a virtual tow rope out there as the 48 drifts up the track. Here comes the 16. Nothing doing off corner number 2.
Brad Wright, Indy 48 car in the 11th position right now. He is your runner-up in the series points standings right now, the NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship. He finds himself 31 points behind your leader, Ray Alfalla, fighting with Lewandowski right now. He's able to hold him off right now, but Brad Wright in the 11th position and Lewandowski currently holding down that 12th spot.
And as you ride on board with Thomas Lewandowski, you can see how hard these drivers are working inside these race cars as he tries to catch Brad Wright. And as he tries to catch Wright, it looks like they are closing in on the likes of Josh Berry and John Prather. So a top 10 position might not be too far off for these drivers. And they also have Patrick Fogel back there, about 3 car lengths back from Lewandowski.
Yeah, still a long way to go though, and there's still a lot of strategies and ideas that haven't been played out yet. Right now we're working lap number 25. We think these drivers can get 50 to 55 laps on a tank of fuel. So we're about halfway through their first fuel stint. Going down the corner, that time Lewandowski hitting about 200 mile an hour as he head down the corner number 3.
And it looks like for the most part everybody has gripped these new tires fairly firmly. 43 drivers on the racetrack. They're all still on the lead lap through 26 laps, and only 17 seconds separates first from 43rd. That shows how deep and how close this competition is in this NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship.
That's right, Tim. We were talking earlier about all these drivers are racing from their houses and their home PCs, and if there's anybody out there that wants to get involved and wants to check out iRacing, just head on over to iRacing.com. Right now you can get 3 full months for just the price of 1. So buy 1 month and get 3 free. Give it a try and start your iRacing career out in the Legends car or on the roadside in the Mazda Miata, and you can give it a try for 3 months and see if this is something that you'd enjoy.
Fantastic battle back here from 18th on back. 18 is in 18, Daniel Pope the second. Then you have Jamison Spieth, 97. Matt Santel is also here as well, working up. Pedro Mojica, Brian Blackford, Robert Hall, Josh Connors. It's a freight train back here right now, Nim. One little slip-up is going to cost them many positions.
Yeah, and you can see that pretty much through the whole field. Everybody's single file right now, and it's from 1st to 43rd. It's only 18 seconds. So, you know, last lap time was 29 seconds on your leader. Make that, about 29 seconds. So, you know, about 2/3 of the way around the track, we have a string of cars, and everybody's pretty much running, you know, very close to the same speed.
24 of Pedro Mojica, looking over the 19 of Matt Santel. That's for position number 20. Mojica is one of those drivers that's looking to get some new life into his NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship season with this brand new tire model. Top 15 in points, but I'm sure Pedro Mojica is looking for a top 10 run at the end of the season. A great run here at Atlanta could do so as you ride on the roof of Matt Santel.
Heading down the corner number 1, this group of cars right together right here at the top of this 5 cars, consisting of Mojica and Santel. Spieth up there a little bit. Right back at Mojica is Brian Blackford in that 22nd spot. So these guys are running very hard, very close together, and it looks like the aero fixer, especially for Mojica, he's able to get right up in there. So he's got a good setup under that car to be able to get that close to the guy in front of him. You know what that may be a sign of too is the 18 cars holding these guys up. Whenever you see a group of drivers that are piled up against the back of another car, it could be because the 18 car is holding them up. And right now we see the 97 car, Jamison Spieth, looking under Daniel Pope, trying to get that position.
And a fantastic battle here. 97 looking underneath that number 18. Nothing doing there. The 19, 24, and Brian Blackford in the 33. 5-car battle for position. And it looks like some of these drivers that were here have fallen back a little bit. Robert Hall barely hanging on. Jesse Atchison coming through as well.
Everything the same up front for your leader, John Gorlinski, out to a 1.1 second lead over Steve Sheehan. Josh Parker is 3rd, 4th. Ray Alfalla, Chris Main is 5th as we got a battle for the 7th position.
Brad Davies takes that battle over from Thomas Hazard in the number 9, so that moves the number 11 up to position at number 7. And Thomas Hazard had a solid start to this season and looking to pick up some points that he's dropped in these last few races. He was first in the point standings, Nim, and now he's back to third, albeit just 2 points between himself and second.
Yeah, he's still very competitive. He's had some bad luck in the last couple of races, but so far this race putting a good run in, and right now currently strongly in the top 10, waiting for this first round of pit stops to come, and still a long race to go. So he's not yet set a strategy in place to get up there at the front, but he's having a good run right now in the 8th spot.
And looking to close back in on the number 11, but Brad Davies pulling away and pulling closer to Derek Wood in the number 54. 54 runs in position at number 6, and Brad Davies hunting him down in that Whiskey River ride. The 2 Whiskey River cars set to do battle for position number 6.
Yep, Wood is falling behind a little bit. Davies is chasing in. Right now, Davies might be the car on the move. Last time by, Davies did a 29.2, and Wood was at a 29.26, so about the same type of speeds there, but Davies definitely on the move.
Lewandowski finally makes a move on Brad Wright. He'd been sitting behind the number 48 for a few laps now, and finally pulled the trigger and made the pass on Brad Wright, so move Thomas Lewandowski up to position number 11. He will chase down Josh Berry. Berry rounds out your top 10 at this point.
Brad Davies all over the rear bumper of Derek Wood coming off of corner number 3 that last time. He had to back out of it as Wood had a position, but Davies again is going to look to challenge him in turn 3 and 4.
Looking to challenge him for that position as drivers all around this racetrack right now trying to pick up those last few spots before something you mentioned a little bit earlier, pit stops could be coming.
Notice how Davies is putting his car right against the white line on the track. He's trying to get his car out from the tire tracks of Derek Wood. That allows him to keep a little bit of downforce on the car and allows him to get moves like you see here. He's able to get a run down the back straightaway, and he slides up the track in front of Wood there a little bit. Now Wood's able to do the crossover coming down the front straightaway.
54 on the inside, the 11 on the outside. 11 trying to hold on to the spot, but Derek Wood wants it on the inside line. Down the back straightaway they go. The 11 gets that run off the corner and takes that position back away. As you look back from Brad Davies, you see the 54, and then you see that 9 creeping into the picture of Thomas Hazard.
Davies is definitely far on the move right now. He's picked up a number of spots. That puts him in the 6th position.
'54 of Derek Wood nearly comes close to hitting that wall off corner number 2. He is driving the wheels off that race car right now, getting everything that he can out of these brand new tires. We come out of corner number 4, this time by 40 complete.
40 complete, about 10 to 15 to go before we have green flag pit stops. Like I said, these guys, they're not so much worried about the tire wear. They'll change the right side tires, left side tires are staying pretty stable. So during green flag pit stops, you probably won't see anybody changing right side tires, but they will need to take on two full fuel tanks, and that will probably be a little bit longer than it'll take those 2 stops. So a lot of pressure on the gas man coming up on these pit stops.
Ray Alfala, the Pro Geek Consulting. Number 2, the Chevrolet Impala, closing in on Josh Parker. Alfala is your leader, and 4th place leader in the point standings, 4th place on the racetrack. And we mentioned earlier that he's going to have a really bad race in order to lose his point standings before we talk drop weeks. He is up by 31 points, and with the points standings that we have here, that's 31 positions on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's a lot of spots. That's a big advantage for Ray right now, and he deserves it. He's done a great job through the season. He's definitely been the most consistent driver. He's up there every week, and he's been doing a fantastic job. So he deserves that spot right now with a 31-point lead. We'd probably like to get up there and lead a lap, maybe get a couple bonus points for this race, but he's doing a great job up there in the top 5. New tire model, new physics engine, and he's still the guy to beat, so he's doing a great job.
And he is closing in on Josh Parker for position number 3, and that gap that once was about a half second or more is now down to 0.2 of a second. Ray Alfala is hunting down the Suave for Men Chevrolet Impala of Josh Parker for third. Here he comes to the inside, looking in the number 2 for position number 3, and he's going to take it off corner number 4. Ray Alfala up to third.
That pass developed there coming off corner number 2 as Parker got a bit squirrely, got up into the fence a little bit, scraped some paint off of that car, and that Alfala to get us. But Parker a little bit squirrely coming off corner number 2 the last time. Maybe a little bit of damage to the right side of the car. It looks like he's going along pretty well right now, though.
So now Ray Alfala will set his sights on Steve Sheehan in the number 6 as we start to see some green flag pit stops. And here comes Josh Parker in the number 81. Parker going to come down to the attention of his crew.
Yeah, this is a little bit earlier than we expected. Jason Anderson and Josh Parker on pit road as we see another couple other teams getting their guys up on the wall. Parker right now coming down pit road. That may be a result of the contact with the wall. He's probably going to come in, give it a check, pit a little early, and try to get back out on the track with some fresh tires. But look for right side tires and a full tank of fuel on the number 81 car.
Jason Anderson has problems getting into his pit box as he now gets service to his race car. Josh Parker, 4 tires on that race car, and he will be down and away momentarily. Your leader is John Gorlinski, and he led by 2 seconds, over 2 seconds over Steve Sheehan.
Parker brings his car back on the track. We see a number of other cars heading towards pit road right now. That'd be Jamison Spies, Andrew Fash, the third's pitting. Matt Sintel's crew is up on the wall. They'll be pitting here shortly, as long as Jeremy R. Allen's also, his crew's up on the wall.
You look at the number 97 crew go to work on that race car. Jamison Spies, the right side tires are down, left sides are going up here, so 4 tires for the number 97. He will be down and away as he leaves his pit box.
The 15 car, Josh O'Connor, spins coming into his pit stall. He's got some right rear damage on his car, but coming in a little bit too high, he spins it around on pit road.
And now he is down getting service to his race car as the leader continues to stay out on the racetrack. John Gorlinski, Steve Sheehan, Ray Alfala, your top 3. Chris Main and Brad Davies, still your top 5 all on the racetrack.
Looks like Nolan Scott got into the back of him a little bit there as they headed towards pit road, and that's what caused his spin. So a little bit of contact there coming on pit road caused that spin, but Josh Connors able to get back out. No caution flag. Everybody's still trying to run and get back on the track.
John Gorlinski continues to lead in the number 21 as Matt Sentel comes off pit road in the number 19. Nolan Scott comes off pit road, and then Ray Alfala just behind Ray. He's got a gaggle of cars that just came off pit road with brand new tires.
Looks like Jeremy R. Allen may have had some problems in his last pit stop, or he's just coming into pit road. We saw him signal that he's going to pit earlier, but he wasn't able to get in. Richie Davidowitz coming into pit road. So a number of guys still making pit stops. This is one of the dangerous times out there, Tim. The guys on new tires got to watch out for the guys on old tires. So this is a high chance for a caution during this type of period, but everybody doing a good job so far.
And you saw a situation like that with the 97, 24, 91, and 06 as those guys are battling hard for position behind Ray Alfala. Of course, those 4 drivers were battling for position that was 1 lap behind your leader, John Gorlinski, as Gorlinski has now separated himself by over 3 seconds between him and second place Sheehan.
Robert Hall's crew is up on the wall. They're getting ready to make a pit stop. John Gorlinski has a 3-second lead right now over Steve Sheehan, and it looks like Sheehan's heading to pit road.
Steve Sheehan looking to head towards pit road, and here he comes in the Tax Slayer number 6, going to come down to the attention of his crew as he is down to the 45-mile-an-hour pit road speed limit.
Joshua Lofton has some trouble getting into his getting down on the pit road as he did a spin coming to pit road, and he actually had some pretty heavy contact with the inside wall, so he's able to get it going again, but that's some heavy damage to the right front of that car.
Steve Sheehan goes to work as the Tax Slayer crew puts 4 tires on his number 6 car, and he is now down and away. He surrenders that second place position to come on to pit road. John Gorlinski's lead is now 5 seconds over Brad Davies.
Gorlinski's crew is up on the wall right now, and we're getting a nod that he's going to be coming down pit road right now as he does make his break towards pit road. Down to the apron of the track, he's got to hit 55 mile an hour right there at the line. Actually, 45 mile an hour is your pit road speed limit this time, and he does get down the pit road as Brad Davies comes in very hot right behind him. We'll have to see if the officials call a penalty on him.
This will hand the lead over to Chris Main as John Gorlinski comes down pit road looking for his pit box. The Wrangler number 21 crew up on the wall, and the crew will service that race car here. Right side tires going to hop on the Wrangler Chevrolet Impala. We expect a 4-tire stop. Everybody else has taken 4, and indeed John Gorlinski follows suit as well. 4 tires as Patrick Fogel heads off pit road as well. Here comes Gorlinski.
Connor McKenzie, Sandy Banerjee, Thomas Lewandowski, Florian Goddard, Brian Blackford, and Chris Main headed to pit road. Thomas Hazard's crew also signaling they are coming into pit road. These guys pitting about 10 laps later than the first crew we saw heading to pit road, so a big difference that could work out in their favor headed towards the end of this race.
Chris Main's crew going to work on the number 38 2 right side tires coming on as Thomas Hazard, your leader, now heads to pit road in the Oboto Gaming cockpits, number 9, and he will look for his pit box this time here.
Joshua Lofton looks like he's got a penalty to serve. He's headed back towards pit road. Connor McKenzie, he's putting up that pit signal again. Not sure if he had a problem the first time he pitted or missed pit road that time, but I believe Brad Wright, we're going to have to keep an eye on him. We're currently 1 lap down. That was who I was thinking of. We've got to keep an eye on the 11 car as he came into the pit road very hot. May have had a penalty coming in the pits. We'll have to keep an eye on see if he has to serve a penalty.
The number 9 is down and away. Vinny Sansoni should be your leader as he was in second. He's going to come on to pit road in the number 80, so he will head down to the attention of his crew, and Sansoni spins it coming on to pit road. The number 80 into the grass, and that's tough after being up there in that second place position.
Yeah, a couple of these guys having some problems getting on the pit road, and we saw a number of them practicing earlier in the race. Before the race started, they were practicing getting in the pit stalls, and looks like a couple of them. As Sassoni, I believe his pit stall is at the head end of pit road here, and he's trying to get into his pit box so the crew can service the car.
Tough break for a driver that really needs a great run here in the late stages of this NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship season. John Gorlinski takes your lead back. Steve Sheehan, Ray Alfala, Josh Parker, Chris Main, your top 5 as green flag pit stops have cycled through. The lead now is 2.4 seconds between John Gorlinski and Steve Sheehan.
Joshua Lofton's crew still working on his car in pit road. Gorlinski is out, still is your race leader, and he's got a 2.4 second lead over Steve Sheehan. Ray Alfala right there in third, Josh Parker fourth, and it looks like we got a crash on the front straightaway.
Caution flag flies for the first time, and it's the 0-1 of Tyler Hudson. Hudson comes into this evening's racing action 5th in the point standings, and that is going to hurt him here, and it looks like, Nim, when we look at the replay, it was all on his lonesome.
Yeah, maybe made some adjustments there on that last pit stop, but he got sideways, and the car just broke loose from him. The 91 car also may have gotten a little piece of that as he passed by. We'll have to see who's in that car. Not sure that's Byron Darley. Byron Darley, as he went by, may have gotten a piece of that right in the right rear door, and Jemison Spees also gets clipped a little bit as he went by, but Tyler Hudson hard up into the wall, maybe resulting from adjustments he made on pit road.
And that car is used up on all corners. The AdaSignWraps.com Chevrolet Impala, and he will have to come down to see what the crew can buff out on that race car. As you get ready to look at the replay, your leaders are going to stay out on the racetrack, as we'll take this opportunity to take a quick commercial break here and come back to some more racing action here at the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. John Gorlinski is your leader. Don't go away. Jeremy
iRacing.com is the premier online racing simulation featuring head-to-head competition on your PC. Race from your home PC, competing on the world's best real-world cars and tracks. Thousands of race fans and scores of pro racers like Dale Jr. and Justin Wilson are already racing at iRacing. Experience the thrill of victory yourself and go racing today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back to round number 13 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Pace car lights are off. Next time by, we go green flag racing. We have 63 laps working on the board, 62 laps completed. John Gorlinski, Steve Sheehan, Ray Alfala, Josh Parker, and Chris Mayne, your top 5. As we get set to go back to racing, looks like all of our drivers still on the racetrack for the most part, and actually all 43 NIM still on the racetrack. Josh Lawton is 6 laps down in 43rd.
Yep, everybody doing a good job. 100 laps to go from here. These guys now have a good feel of the tire and what it's going to do under race conditions. We've seen some guys who have done a pretty good job. Brad Davies worked his way up through the field in the first stint, but he had some problems on that pit stop. He was running around the 5th position. Now he's back to 18th. So a pretty bad pit stop cost him dearly on pit road. Josh Berry also running in the top 10. Now back to 17th position along with Thomas Hazard. And Matt Santel's moved his way up, but a number of drivers losing a lot of spots on that round of green flag stops.
Richie Davidowit and Jordan Erickson, 2 drivers that pop out on my screen, 8th and 9th. They moved up a few positions thanks to the work of their pit crews. Pace car is in. John Gorlinski, Steve Sheehan going to lead this field back to green. Green flag flies, and John Gorlinski, what a start on the inside. He takes the advantage.
Yeah, one thing we've got to remember here, cautions, great cautions. So a number of these drivers trying to pick up some spots, and this is the best time for them to do it while everybody's bunched together. So hopefully everybody will do it cleanly, but look to see some possible exciting action coming down here.
For the first time this evening, Steve Sheehan has lost 2nd place. Ray Alfala takes that spot away. Here comes Josh Parker. Parker might take position number 3 away from Steve Sheehan. Sheehan falling back to position number 4.
Yeah, Sheehan off the spot there. Now the 38 car, Chris Mayne, looking underneath there. Mayne not able to hold him off. Sheehan forces him his way back down. Derek Woods on the move. He's looking to the inside of Mayne as they come down the back straightaway.
Derek Wood to the inside, looking over the 38, the Spin Master. Chevrolet Impala for Chris Mayne up on the high side. Derek Wood on the inside in the Whiskey River ride. That's the battle for 5th. Mayne has it at the line.
Very close, but that was number 1 there, maybe trading a little bit of paint. Wood still on the inside. Mayne pinching him a little bit to come up on number 2. They spread apart just a little bit, and now Wood has the momentum going down the back straightaway.
Derek Wood, though, takes that position away from Chris Mayne. Here comes the 16 now with Thomas Lewandowski, another driver who had a great pit stop, up into the top 10 right now for the number 16, as he looks at position number 6 just in front of him.
Everybody still getting sorted out further back. Looks like everybody lining up very well right now. John Gorlinski out front, Ray Alfala 2 tenths behind him. Then it's Josh Parker, Steve Sheehan, Derek Wood are your top 5.
You look at 3rd place right now. Josh Parker is looking on 2nd place. Ray Alfala, Steve Sheehan within striking distance as well. Josh Parker looking to make up some time here as you ride on the roof with Josh Parker looking to make up those positions early in this run.
Alfala very strong, your points leader, up trying to reel in John Gorlinski right now, but Alfala doing everything right up there in the 2nd position. That's a good way to stay out of trouble and let everybody chase him, but Alfala doing a good job. Gorlinski trying to get away a little bit and might be doing so as Parker's trying to take the fight to Alfala.
Trying to take the fight to Ray Alfala is Josh Parker. You see the 6 back there of Sheehan as well. In the mix is Josh Connors, comes off pit road in the number 15, so he will go 1 lap down to the field. Tough break for Connors. He will be looking to get back up there and try to get one of those laps back as Gorlinski starts to inch away from this field.
Connor had a problem coming on pit road. He had a little bit of contact. Remember that when he came on pit road, had to spin on pit road, may have had to serve a penalty for that unsafe pit entry. But right now, a lap down. He'll be trying to get a lap back early on. You know what, Tim, with these new tires and the fact that they're very strong this race and they're holding up and guys aren't wanting to pit so much, that's going to make it a problem for guys that are a lap down, as we do have a caution on the track.
Multiple cars involved in this one, as lots of smoke there. The 92, the 06 involved, and we got one smoking down here going into corner number 3, and that's Jesse Atchison. Tough break for Atchison.
It looks like it may have started up front with Brian Schoenberg. Everybody was lined up. Schoenberg pushed out into the outside wall. He had to check up, and the cars just accordioned up behind him, and that caused a number of guys. Nolan Scott got in the back of Blackford. Then it was just a train reaction. Hazard involved in that a little bit, and a number of cars getting a lot of heavy damage on that one.
02 also involved in that one. Jeremy Allen, the 28. Going for a wild ride. That's the Jesse Atchison machine, and I believe he is sponsored by, it's that platypus on the side of that race car, number 28, Jesse Atchison. The crew will have a lot of work to do, and I don't know if the platypus is going to help the 28 crew get that car back on the racetrack in racing condition.
Jeremy Allen had some heavy contact flipping that car over on the back straightaway there. He got into Nolan Scott pretty hard. And then, everybody was just lined up. When everybody's coming off the corner here, Tim, they were coming off corner number 2 flat out, and their momentum's just carrying everybody up to that same spot right there where Schoenberg had the problem. And everybody just grouped up. It's the fastest part of the track right there, coming off that corner. And everybody just grouped up and had nowhere to go. And it's one of those, things where, people are running too close together. One guy up front hits the brakes, and, a lot of bumpers getting tagged there, and that's what caused this problem.
And you're seeing multiple replays of this wreck, and indeed it is a very big wreck, taking out many strong drivers in this race, and there's not a weak link in this 43-piece chain at this point right now, Nim, I guess you can call it, but there's a lot of fast drivers that are going to be hurting after this wreck, and a lot of drivers already are laps down, one or more laps down. You look at the likes of John Costa, the Daytona 500 winner from earlier in the season. Chad Coleman is 1 lap down. Patrick Fogel is shown as 1 lap down. Brian Blackford on pit road. Tyler Hudson's 1 lap down. Jeremy Allen's 1 lap down. Connor McKenzie is 5 laps down. There's a lot of strong cars that are behind the 8 ball here early.
Yeah, it's a lot of competition to get into this NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Thousands of drivers are going for a few select spots to get them into what's called the Pro Series, and that Pro Series is what feeds this series. So it's a lot of competition to get here, and once the drivers do get here, they are top notch. So first, back to 43rd position. We were talking earlier in the race how it was only about 18 seconds after about 30 laps. Every driver in this series is very fast, very hard, and the problem is when you group together like this and a little incident like this happens where somebody's got to get off the gas, it can turn into something big, and it has here. No doubt that Brian Schoenberg did not want to have this type of accident happen, but he made a little mistake. He had to get out of the gas, and that's what caused the incident. And that's what's great about this type of racing is that everybody here in the NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship is a great driver, and they had this bad luck right now, but that'll give opportunity for a number of guys to get back up to the front here.
And we are not to the halfway point yet in this race, but we are getting mighty close to that point. Lap 73 being worked on the board right now. We are showing 26 drivers that are still on the lead lap in this event, and I'm sure that number is going to shrink. Jesse Atchison is one of those cars that is still on the lead lap, and I believe he will probably fall 1 or more laps down, getting damage repaired to his number 28 race car, as he is now down on pit road. The crew going to work on that race car, as John Gorlinski will lead these guys back down to green. The lights are off, and next time by we will see these drivers go at it again, but now he has some new company on the outside. He's going to have Ray Alfala to his upside in the 2.
Yeah, Josh Parker, he's aggressive on the restarts. He'll be starting in that third spot down to the inside. And the inside lane is probably the preferred starting position for a number of these guys. Everybody likes to be down in the inside lane. We still have another number of cars fixing those repairs on pit road, but you know, everybody wants to be on the inside on a start, and the outside is kind of a hard place to be. You could lose some spots, so we'll see how Alfalo handles it on this restart.
So Gorlinski and Alfalo will lead your field to green on row number 1. Josh Parker, Derek Wood is row number 2. Chris Main, Thomas Lewandowski is row number 3. John Prather, Josh Berry, and then we have Brad Davies and Pedro Mojica. Great run for Mojica in the number 24. He completes your top 10 as we are going to get the green flag here. Nim, bring us to green.
All right, John Gorlinski heads the field as the Wrangler car leads them around corner number 3 and 4. Pace car driver turns his way down the pit road, and Gorlinski is now hard on the gas, and what will lead him up, it looks like Josh Parker spins his tires a little bit, but he does get a little bit of advantage. Alfalo will pull down right in front of him. Derek Wood has a good run up on the outside.
Josh Parker down to the inside, going to pick up position number 3. Here comes Chris Main in the number 38. Main looking to pick up position number 4. It's going to move Derek Wood back to position number 5. Wood will have to reset and try to gain some more spots as Brad Davies on the move behind them.
Yeah, Davies trying to work some positions out of this restart here. He's going from the 8th position. He's gotten around the 45 car of John Prather. Now Josh Berry works his way around Prather, also going down the corner number 1.
Drivers on the move early on to this restart, as it looks like for the most part your top drivers have got single file, but I'm sure that will change as you ride on board with Josh Berry in the number 72, looking up on Brad Davies and Thomas Lewandowski.
Everybody getting sorted out. Remember Davies early on, and remember we talked about before the last big wreck, Davies started back in the 18th position. Man, he made up a lot of spots during that wreck. He got a lot of spots back. He's up in the 7th position right now, working his way to the front. He was one of the strongest cars on the track during that last green flag stint, and now he's working his way back up in the top 10.
Sheehan to the inside of the 45 and John Prather to pick up position number 9. Now he will set his sights on the likes of Josh Berry and Brad Davies in front of him, as he won this race 1 season ago, did Steve Sheehan. Now he's looking to get back to that glory and pick up yet another victory, and it's been a whirlwind year for Steve Sheehan when it comes to this NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship.
I think Steve Sheehan's a little bit frustrated right now. Remember, he was up in the top 2 earlier in this race. He was running in the 2nd position. Those green flag pit stops cost him a number of spots. He now finds himself back in the 9th spot. He knows he's strong enough. He knows he's got a very strong car. I think he feels a little bit cheated right now and needs to get back up there in the top couple positions.
Looking to make those moves to get him back up into the top 5 and try to get that 2nd place position that he had back on the first green flag run of this event. This time by 79 laps have been completed of the 162 as Sheehan all over the back at Josh Berry looking for position number 8.
Yeah, he takes it down in the corner number 1, about a car length and a half off the rear bumper of Berry. He's got a little bit of a run. Coming out of corner number 2, Berry moves to the inside, just like maybe Mark Martin would. It's not time for him to fight this early in the race. Berry moves to the inside and lets Sheehan go.
And now Steve Sheehan sets his sights on Brad Davies in front of him. A couple of car lengths to make up, but Steve Sheehan's car looks good in the early stages of this green flag run. 80 laps are completed.
Next time by, we will be halfway. 80 laps completed. We're working on lap number 81 right now, so we are halfway this time by. And a lot of good racing up to this point, and we see some strong cars on the track right now. Tim, I think in the first half of the race, I'm most impressed. Obviously, Gorlinski out front the whole race, doing a great job. But cars coming up through the field. I think Brad Davies has to get the nod so far as being one of the faster cars on the track.
Brad Davies sitting in position number 7, looking over Thomas Lewandowski in front of him. and really a 5-car battle here for position number 3 as you look all the way back to Brad Davies and then number 11. You got Lewandowski in front of him, Derek Wood, Chris Main, and Josh Parker trying to run away with position number 3, but nothing doing so far yet, as one little mistake could send you back outside the top 10 with these guys bunched up the way they are.
You too could find yourself racing in this series if you want to be a NASCAR iRacing driver. Right this week, the NASCAR series is the other series are visiting other tracks. The NASCAR iRacing Class A series is at Pocono this week. The B series that uses the Nationwide car is at Watkins Glen. The C series at Pocono, as we look back from Wood, is at Pocono. The Tour Modified series is at Irwindale. The weekly modified series is also at Irwindale, and the NASCAR iRacing late models is at Lanier Speedway. So plenty of NASCAR action here at iRacing. If you want to get involved in some sanctioned NASCAR racing, come on over and visit us at iRacing.com, where you can sign up now, and for the price of 1 month you get 3 total months. So buy 1 month and get 2 free.
And that means you'll be racing for the full 2011 Season 3 if you get involved in this series now, as you got one car in the grass. That's Vinny Sansoni going through the grass, and he's had a tough run so far tonight, and I think that's his second run in the grass.
Yeah, it looks like Vinny was able to get it back on the track without causing any problems. Vinny was towards the back of the field and was able to, he had a problem, I believe, coming in the pit road, and might have got a little bit of help from the 10 car. I believe that's Connor McKenzie. In the 10 car, as they coming off corner number 2, clipped the back of his car and sent them spinning around through the grass, but looks like he was able to get it going again and back on the track.
Being reported that Jesse Atchison is down pit road as well, as he had that damage from the big wreck that we had here just a few laps ago.
Byron Daly's in trouble on the front straightaway, along with the 51 car of, let's see who that is. It looks like Patrick Fogel, the 91 car and the 51 car coming together at corner number 4.
And the 51 went for a wild ride. He was sliding on his roof down the front straightaway in the TC's Custom Diecast. Number 51, as it looked like the Byron Daly machine was going for a spin. The 33 of Brian Blackford helped him along a little bit, and the 30 of Robert Hall triggered the 51 to go up and over, but Robert Hall, no place to go in that number 30 as he got up into the number 51, as we are going to have possibly some pit stops happening here as we see caution flag flying once again on lap number 88.
Yeah, a number of cars getting some heavy damage out of this. You see Blackford got through it pretty clean, but the 51 car of Fogel, the 18 car of Andrew Fash, the third, has some damage in on this a bit, and I believe that's the 30 car, also with some heavy damage, or I have to check that, but I believe it's the 30 car. Robert Hall, also some heavy damage, so about 5 cars involved in this one and getting some pretty good damage on it.
Here comes John Gorlinski, and he is going to lead most of your field down onto pit road on lap number 88, or the completion of lap number 88. So Gorlinski in the Wrangler Chevrolet will take the opportunity to come down, and we do have some drivers staying out, including Ray Alfala, Steve Sheehan, and Jordan Erickson. So it looks like half of the field are thereabouts coming down, and the rest of the drivers staying out on the racetrack trying to play some strategy on this field. Gorlinski takes 2 tires. It should be 4 here as he does. Chris Main, some strategy. He's out in front of the field.
Yeah, as we talked about earlier, a lot of these guys feel that they can go a long way on the left side tires, as they're not getting a whole lot of wear on that side. But the left side tires, those new tires always feel a little bit better, even in just the driver's mind. So sometimes they like to take them just so they can keep the balance of that car and then help them get around the track a little quicker.
So 4 cars ahead of your leader, we're being told. have taken 2 tires on their race cars, but then you have some guys like Ray Alfala, Steve Sheehan, and Jordan Erickson that stayed out on the racetrack. How do you think this strategy is going to work out for them, Nim?
Well, according to what everybody's saying, it's not so bad. The tires are holding up pretty good, but they are getting some wear on the right side, and it's been a few laps since our last pit stops, or last caution flag and pit stop, so there's not a whole lot of wear on those tires yet, so it might be a good idea, and these guys staying up front might have some good strategy going.
So Thomas Hazard, Matt Sentel complete your top 5, so those drivers stayed out, and then you have the likes of Chris Main, Josh Berry, Pedro Mojica, Brad Wright, and John Gorlinski. That is your top 10 as these drivers run under caution here. We will have 90 laps completed when they come back across the strike.
And remember, we're 90 laps in the race, working lap 90 like Tim just said. There is a ways to go, and another round of pit stops will need to be made. They can't make it from here. So these guys stand out, enforcing some decent strategies.
As these drivers work down the back straightaway, let's step away for a brief second and come back to some live green flag racing. Ray Alfala, Steve Sheehan, your top 2. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Pace car lights are off. We are going back to green flag racing, this time by your leader is Ray Alfala, Steve Sheehan in second, Erickson, Hazard, Sentel, top 5. But now, Nim, it's going to be John Gorlinski who has led the majority of this race, starting back in position number 10.
Yep, these guys like John Gorlinski back in the 10th position are going to be in the dirty air now. And they don't want that. They don't want to be back in that dirty air, and they're not liking this at all. The strategy is to get out front. Ray Alfala, Steve Sheehan, they're up on the front row, and they are the guys out front right now, and they are in the catbird seat. We'll have to see how Gorlinski works his way through the field. He was able to stretch it out early on while he was out front, but now we'll see what he does back in the dirty air.
Ray Alfala takes off like he was shot out of a cannon. Here comes Jordan Erickson to the inside. Erickson looking to pick up second. He does so. Now here comes the 9 of Hazard. Sheehan trying to slam the door on Hazard. He does so. 6 will maintain third. We're going to stack him up behind. Sentel around. Berry around. Brad Wright included in this one.
Yeah, it looks like Josh Berry got in trouble and able to get in trouble.
Huge wreck down the back straight away, and as these drivers begin to pull away, we will see who has damage and who does not. Oh boy, is that John Prather back there involved in this one? Prather had such a good run here. Richie Davidowitz got some air. The 45 does go for a loop around. Cosper gets into the 45 as he was spinning down the racetrack, and a lot of these drivers in the back, at least, Nim, have some close calls getting through this.
Yeah, it was a mess. Sentel coming off corner number 2, he was down the inside of Mojica, and Josh Berry wanted to go to the inside of Sentel and got into the left rear corner of Sentel, sending him spin around. But Mojica, Sentel, and Berry heavy into the inside wall.
Looks like Davies made it through that wreck virtually unscathed, so we'll see how Davies will do on this one. It's definitely going to shake up the landscape of the top 10 on this racetrack. We do know Ray Alfala and Jordan Erickson are going to be your top 2, with Steve Sheehan, Thomas Hazard, and Chris Mayne your top 5, as we will see what goes on here as the 2-car of Ray Alfala, the Pro Geek Consulting number 2, continues to lead and picking up some laps led, and you never know, Nim, he could very well pick up those extra bonus points for the most laps led tonight.
Yeah, he definitely could, and those bonus points are very valuable. Another car that we saw involved here with some heavy damage and smoking, smoke pouring from the engine, that's Richie Davidowitz having some troubles after that last wreck. He got into that secondary accident heading down the back straightaway after they passed the first one.
So down the back straightaway we go, and we see Jordan Erickson come back up to this field, and Jordan Erickson looked like, Nim, he was experiencing what we call warp, the computer trying to communicate to the server, and that server trying to figure out where his car is on the racetrack. And the 85 right now looks like the connection issues that he had have been sorted out for the time being, so good for Jordan Erickson to get those fixed and continue his second place run.
Yeah, it looks good right now, and that could be caused by anything. A thunderstorm, a hop between him and the service having some type of problem, but a little bit of a hiccup can cause a little bit of blinking, but everything seems to be sorted out right now, as the 81 car of Parker headed down the pit road.
And you see some damage to that number 81 Suave for Men Chevrolet. It looks cosmetic from here, but there might be something smashed in behind that number 81, or behind the front end of that number 81. Some back end damage to that car as well, so we'll see how bad that is. Looks like it's tracking straight, at least from this vantage point.
Yeah, the restart, everybody's grouped up trying to make positions, and when everybody's grouped up and there's an accident, you're going to get a lot of cars involved. And these cars are flying around this place. This is probably one of the fastest tracks, if not the fastest track on the NASCAR iRacing schedule. They're hitting speeds of well over 200 mile an hour at some points of the track, and they're averaging speeds well up in the 180s. So, these guys, they're going very, very fast. And you think about the big ones that we always talk about at Talladega and Daytona. Well, when you're just you're grouped up here, and you see the results, as when somebody has a problem, a number of drivers may pay for it.
So now we see a different landscape up here in the top 10. We see Ray Alfala, Jordan Erickson, Steve Sheehan, Hazard, and Mayne, your top 5. For the most part, those drivers have been up near the top 5, with the exception of Erickson, who was running a strong top 15 before everything started to happen with some caution flags. Then you have John Gorlinski up here in 6th. 7th is Derek Wood. 8th is Brad Davies. 9th is Brian Schoenberg. Schoenberg has been strong in the later stages of this race, or at least the later stages that we've completed so far, and Brian Blackford completes your top 10. And then you look back here, how about Justin Lowry and Greg Spears, 11th and 12th last time by the scoring loop. As the lights are off atop the pace car, we go green next time by. This could be very interesting for some of those drivers that are looking to make some positions.
Yeah, one thing that you got to think of too is we're on working lap number 96. From here, we're going to have about 66 laps to go. Possibly somebody might be able to make it on fuel from here. We'll see. It's if they save fuel, it's possible. So somebody at the back might be making the pit stop now, or serving up some fuel, and we'll see if we can make it from here. And so some good strategies might be playing out now.
23 drivers remain on the lead lap of this race. We have another handful of drivers that are one or more laps down. It looks like we have about 40 drivers or so that are still with us on this racetrack, so still a lot could happen, and a lot of those drivers that are still on the racetrack looking to pick up those valuable championship points, trying to lock themselves into the top 25 so they can make the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship for the 2012 campaign. And we'll talk about that point situation as we go forward in the second half of this race. The Pro Geek Consulting, number 2 of Ray Alfala, going to lead this field. The green pace car going to pull into the safety of the infield, and Ray Alfala puts the hammer down. We are back underway at Atlanta.
Top 5 cars or so getting sorted out very nicely, as I think we had a lot of courtesy up there, as Jordan Erickson was allowed to come down by Steve Sheehan, so maybe these guys wanting to be a little bit safe with each other right now. Hazard has the 21 car of Gorlinski working his outside. Gorlinski wants back up front. He feels he's deserved it. He doesn't like being at about 10th. In that last restart, he was able to get through that big wreck and now finds his way up to the 4th position again.
And he is coming to the front in a hurry. Just in front of him, Steve Sheehan looking over Jordan Erickson. Erickson up high. Here comes Sheehan down low. Sheehan looking to come back to second place. And John Gorlinski looking to follow him through as well. The 21 looks over the 85.
Remember, Sheehan was up in the second earlier in this race while Gorlinski was out front. Sheehan has a very strong car. We'll see if he can chase down Alfala. But Alfala doing a great job all season long. He's been up contending. New tire model, new physics, and he's still the guy out front.
Nothing has changed for that number 2, Ray Alfala, as he pulls away from Steve Sheehan. And Sheehan now pulling away ever so slightly over Jordan Erickson. John Gorlinski looking to take away that 3rd place position and trying to get it as quick as he can so he can try to catch Steve Sheehan.
You know, one thing, Brad Wright involved in the incident a little while ago, he's done a pretty good job staying back up in contention. He's working the 15th position right now, but that's 15 points he's giving away to the leader right now, and the leader's out front collecting his bonus points also, so probably a little bit more than 15 points he's going to be losing now, and he's already at a 31-point disadvantage to Alfala, so it's not looking good right now for Wright.
21 is there on the back of the number 85, and Jordan Erickson just behind that. Here comes the 54 of Derek Wood over Thomas Hazard into the number 9 as Hazard looking to pick up 2nd place in the point standings. They're looking to take that position back at least at the completion of this race. That's not going to help them, losing that 1 point to the 54.
Everybody seems to be settling out right now. Brad Davies looking on the back bumper of the 9 car as they head into corner 3, but everybody's single file as you look behind him, Maine and Schoenberg. And Davies gets a little bit squirrely coming off of corner number 4. That allows Maine to get up underneath him, and Maine will take that spot.
38 going to open the door and come through for the position. Chris Maine. Moves up in position at number 7.
Looks like Maine was able to pick up that spot. That would move Maine up into the 7th position over Davies. Schoenberg right behind him. Davies was able to make a very good save though, coming off of that corner, and did gather it back up.
Down the back straightaway, lap 103 being worked on the board, and Chris Maine continues to hold off that number 11 of Brad Davies, but closing in on Thomas Hazard, and Hazard, I'm sure, doesn't want to see those guys coming in the rearview mirror.
No, he doesn't. Hazard needs to get up front too. You know, he's one of those guys battling Alfala right now, 33 points behind the leader. And Alfala doesn't want to let this get away, or I'm sorry, Alfala wants it to get away, but Hazard doesn't want to let this get away. So he's trying his best to work his way back up through. Remember, they got the 2 drop races also that we have not added in here, but Hazard running in the 6th spot, going to lose 6 more points, maybe even a little bit more with those bonus points to Alfala right now, and that's something that they can't afford.
You can't make up points when the driver in front of you in the standings is in front of you on the racetrack. Probably the easiest way to explain it, as the 9 car of Thomas Hazard. Still a long way to go in this race, mind you. Just over 50 laps to go in this event as Hazard and the 38 of Chris Maine continue their battle for 6th and 7th.
We are in the pit window now too. Anybody pitting from here on out can make it on fuel. So anybody pits from here on out, if we have a caution from here on out, they'll be able to go the whole way as our leaders work their way through some lap traffic.
And that is the 14 car of Matthew Moose. So Matthew Moose will fall 1 more lap down to your leaders. Matthew Moose now scored as 3 laps behind the pace that Ray Alfala has been setting. As looking back here comes Brad Davies. Here comes Brian Schoenberg as well as they work around some lap traffic, as Gorlinski has pulled away just a little bit from this pack, as has Derek Wood in the 54.
Yeah, that clean out front is good. Whenever you get a gap to anybody in front of you, you can run better lap times, as Alfala is showing us right now. He's about a half-second lead over Sheehan, and Sheehan about a little over a second back to the 3rd place car of Jordan Erickson and John Gorlinski.
The 11 car of Brad Davies continues to work up on the 9, and Thomas Hazard in 6th, Brad Davies in 7th. Fantastic battles all over this speedway as we complete lap 107 of this 162 lap affair at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Jordan Erickson working his way around the lap car.
And that's Matthew Moose up there, Nim, and tough break for Matthew Moose. He's one of those drivers that's on that top 25 cusp and looking to gain some points, and that's why he's out there right now 3 laps down. You'd think, well, why is he out there? If drivers fall out of the race now in these next 50 or so laps, he can gain a few points.
Well, you know, it's huge. You want to be in the top 25 so you're in this series next year, in their next season. That's the goal. You make the top 25, you get to do it again. Those outside the 25, they got to race that series that we were talking about earlier called the Pro Series. They got to get into that and race those drivers who have earned their spot to compete to get into this series. And what happens is the next 25 spots, 25 spots from the Pro Series will match the top 25 drivers from the point standings of this season, and you'll have your next 50 drivers. You have your next 50 drivers for next season. So that's what these guys are thinking of. They don't want to get involved in that battle to get back here next season. They want to do it now.
We usually see the chrome horn on these short tracks. We see the chrome horn there on the 38 and the 9. Chris Main, Thomas Lewandowski, and Main might use it again here as he comes back up on the number 9 of Thomas Hazard down the back straightaway. Here comes Schoenberg as well. Brian Schoenberg looking to enter into this battle as well.
John Gorlinski's picked up a spot on Jordan Erickson, so Gorlinski moves up in the 3rd spot. He dominated early on in this race and is moving back his way back into a podium position.
Moving his way back on up to the front of the field. He's still got 2.2 seconds between himself and your leader, Ray Alfala, as the action has settled out around that 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th place positions for the time being, as your leader crosses the line here. 112 complete, which means we have 50 to go.
Gorlinski now stretching it out a little bit over the 4th place car of Ericsson, about 4/10 that last time by. That's going to put Gorlinski in a good spot to chase down that number 6 car of Sheehan. Right now it's about 1.6 seconds to the 2nd place car. We'll see if he can close it in this next lap.
Leaders just put the 72 of Josh Berry 1 lap in the rears, and that's your 10th place driver in the point standings. So Berry sporting some damage, trying to hold on for everything that 72 car has left. He is scored in 21st, 1 lap down.
Your fastest car on the track right now is John Gorlinski, 1.9 seconds behind the leader now. He was a little over 2 seconds the last time by. He's catching about 1/10 of a second a lap, maybe a little bit more than that per lap, so Gorlinski's on the move.
John Gorlinski on the move, 1.9 seconds between himself and Alfala the last time by, and he closes in by about 8/100ths that last time by. So Gorlinski chipping away on this battle as you ride on board with the Wrangler of John Gorlinski.
You can see up ahead, it's a lap car up ahead, but up ahead of them is Steve Sheehan. Sheehan right now 3.5 of a second behind Alfala. Gorlinski this time as Sheehan closes in on Alfala. Gorlinski closes in again, 1.7 seconds now to the leader. So he gained 2/10 that last time by while going past the lap car. So Gorlinski and Sheehan coming up on Alfala. So Alfala may be having a little bit of a problem here as we go longer into the stint.
Steve Sheehan looking to go back to the place he was 1 season ago, and that's the lead at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Sheehan made the big splash here last season, and now he looks to make the splash on lap 117 as he looks over Ray Alfala for the lead as they head down the back straightaway. The Tax Slayer ride is there.
You know what Ray Alfala has on his mind is this championship. He's in a great spot right now to lengthen the championship lead. Steve Sheehan moves up high and is trying to get a run out of corner number 2. It looks like Alfala's pitting as he's coming down pit road, so I'm not sure what the strategy is. He's coming down pit road.
Maybe some short pitting here for the number 2 of Ray Alfala. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we are going to find out. The Pro Geek Consulting, number 2 of Ray Alfala heading down to pit road.
Well, everybody's going to have to make a pit stop, probably. Remember, we talked about the last time we were under caution. It's possible that somebody can duck on the pit road and make it from here, but none of the lead lap cars or leader cars did that. So Alfala on pit road. Everybody else probably has to make a pit stop. This works, and it breathes new life into cars like Thomas Hazard and Brad Wright. Those guys fighting for this points lead. Alfala is now going to go to the back, and if a caution flag comes out here or anytime soon, that's going to be bad news for Alfala. Maybe we'll have to see how it works out. But Alfala on pit road definitely changes things up here a bit.
And he did take 4 tires on that race car as Josh Berry hard into the wall in the number 72. He saves it, we stay green, but that 72 hard into the wall, and the problems continue for Josh Berry.
Yeah, it looks like Josh had a tire go down or something broke on that car. As he went down the corner number 1, that car just shot right up into the wall. He's passing Pedro Mojica going down the corner number 1, and the car just turned right up into the fence. So possibly some kind of mechanical issue with that car.
So he will head down pit road. Your new leader is the 6th, is Steve Sheehan. He has 1.2 seconds on John Gorlinski. Jordan Erickson continues to ride in position number 3. And as I say that, he gets passed up by the 54 and the 11. Derek Wood and Brad Davies move into 3rd and 4th respectively. And Brad Davies trying to get 2 for 1. He's trying to get that number 54 for 3rd.
Davies heads down corner number 3 all over the rear bumper of Derek Wood, but not able to make it past this time by. The gap between your leaders is 1.2 seconds. Steve Sheehan over Gorlinski. Last time by, Gorlinski was able to pick it up by a tenth. The gap is now only 1.1 seconds. So John Gorlinski still your fastest car on the track.
Drivers back here battling for 3rd and 4th. This seems to be the closest battle on the racetrack right now. Brad Davies looking over Derek Wood for that position. The Whiskey River cars looking to battle for the final podium position as they come out of corner number 4. It's still the 54 over the 11 as you ride on board the roof of the number 11.
Remember, this is round number 13 of 18 in this NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship as Davies works his way on the back bumper of Derek Wood right now. Right now, Davies 6th in points, Wood 9th in points. Davies trying to get back up into a position to contend for this championship. Remember, last year, Davies was the runner-up in this championship series, so he's trying to get himself back in a position to fight for this championship.
Car number 38 at Chris Main takes the spot from Thomas Hazard, so move Hazard back one more spot, and we want to talk about points. There's one more point that Thomas Hazard does not have at this point, at this juncture in the race, but still, we have just under 40 laps remaining in this race. Still a little ways to work if you want to gain those final couple of points. As we come across, 124 has been completed, and it looks like Derek Wood starting to inch away a little bit over Brad Davies. Davies stuffs that car hard into corner number 1.
Yeah, but remember, the thing that Hazard sees right now, and he's loving, is Ray Alfala is back in the 21st position, 1 lap down. So that's a lot of spots that Hazard can make up right now. But will he need to make a pit stop? We believe everybody here on the lead lap will have to. There's 19 cars on the lead lap. Hazard and Wright, though, breathing new life right now. They are way in front of Alfala and looking to pick up some spots, but we'll see how it plays out.
11 car to position number 3. Brad Davies makes the pass on Derek Wood and just slipped underneath him into corner number 1 and had the pass completed before he came off corner number 2. So nice pass by the veteran sim racer, runner-up last season in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. And now Davies puts a little distance between himself and your new 4th place driver, Derek Wood. As John Gorlinski continues to close in, it's now 0.8 of a second between your top 2.
You know what? Last time by, though, Davies was 2.5 seconds behind your leader. This time by, he is 2.3 seconds behind your leader. So Davies on a charge closing in right now. He's got, like I said, 2.3 seconds to make up. But Gorlinski and Davies are coming from Sheehan, and Sheehan's starting to feel the heat.
This time by, it's 0.7 of a second between your top 2, so about a 0.5 between Sheehan and Gorlinski was chopped off there. Sheehan leads as they put another lap on Pedro Mojica. Second is Gorlinski as he makes his way past the 24. Third belongs to Brad Davies. Fourth is Derek Wood, and completing your top 5 is Jordan Erickson. Great run so far for 85.
Yep, 6th is Chris Main. 7th, Thomas Hazard. Brian Schoenberg up into the 8th spot. Josh Parker running 9th. Josh caught up in a wreck earlier tonight. As long as Brad Wright was also caught up in the wreck, he finds himself in the 10th position.
And all those drivers still on the lead lap. Brian Blackburn 11th, 12th is John Prather. Jamison Spieth is 13th, 14th Justin Lowry, and at 15th Byron Daly. Daly went for a spin earlier. He's in 15th. Completing your top 20, it's Matt Sentel, Greg Spears, Andrew Fayash the third, Robert Hall. Those are the drivers on the lead lap. And Florian Goddard, first driver that is one lap down.
Yeah, Florian running in the 20th position right now. The leader is in traffic. He's trying to work his way up through, and he has to let off a little bit as Hazard was up in his groove, and that lets Gorlinski get a big run down the front straightaway. John Gorlinski takes the lead going into corner number 3.
New leader, number 21, John Gorlinski. Gorlinski will come by this time and complete lap 130, and he will be atop that scoring pylon in the middle of the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Oh, close quarters as the 21 gets into the wall. The 6 and the 01 nearly had a moment behind him.
Yeah, that looked to me to be a little bit of payback as they went in corner number 3. Remember, coming off corner number 2, the 01 was up in the groove, and Sheehan had to back out of it. Sheehan didn't like it, and obviously stuffed the 01 up in the fence as they were going down the front straightaway.
So that will let the number 21 of John Gorlinski inch his lead a little bit further out over Steve Sheehan in the number 6. Brad Davies in 3rd, Derek Wood and Jordan Erickson complete your top 5 at this point, and it might change for 5th. Here comes Chris Main in the 38. Chris Main closing in on Erickson.
Yeah, about 3 car lengths ahead to Erickson right now as Main looking to the high side. He's trying to get up there on the outside, and the reason he's doing that is because the 85's heading to pit road. So 85 signaled he was pitting, Main went up high so not to run into him, and Jordan Erickson now makes his way down pit road.
Erickson heading down to pit road to the attention of his crew as the 48, we're being told as well, of Brad Wright is on pit road, and indeed he is. Brad Wright, the leading rookie in the series, going to come to the attention of his crew.
We'll start to see if a number of other drivers, the 6th car is heading down pit road. Steve Sheehan, and gets in the grass a little bit, so a little bit of trouble coming on pit road, and that might cost him an unsafe pit penalty.
That might very well cost Steve Sheehan greatly, and it might very well cost him not only a win, but maybe even a top 10 finish. He's trying to get into the top 10 in points. That could very well cost him that when we look back at the completion of this season. The Tax Slayer, number 6, comes into his pit box. The right side tires going up, and it looks like he will take 4 tires on the Tax Slayer Chevy.
We are working lap number 134 right now of 166, so about 28 laps to go to the end of the race. Guys making pit stops, trying to get back out and take advantage of new rubber and trying to make up some time on some of these guys who are going to try to stay out as long as they can.
And it looks like the 6 made the penalty there. He sat in his pit box for a little longer, so that's a tough break for Steve Sheehan. We'll see where he cycles out, as that was John Gorlinski, I do believe, that just went past the number 6. Indeed it was. So now Steve Sheehan at least 1 lap down.
Yeah, maybe, he's a little bit mad at that lap car for not, I guess, getting out of his way, and we saw that on the racetrack, and possibly his frustration getting a little bit better of him coming down pit road there, and that cost him some time. So sometimes, when you lose your cool a little bit inside the cockpit, it can build, and a number of incidents now that puts Sheehan behind the 8 ball.
Thomas Hazard onto pit road in car number 9, making his final pit stop of the evening here on lap 136.
Looks one car spinning down the front straightaway.
And the yellow flag does fly for this one, Nim, as the 14 of Matthew Moose. The night continues to get worse for the 14 car as he brings out the caution flag here.
Yeah, he was up high, and it looked like it started up front with the 15 car. A number of cars up front, including the 01 car and the 15 car, some lapped cars, checked up ahead of him, and Matthew lifted, and that got him up into the fence without Fowler, and that caused some problems. But it looks like the issue with this wreck started with some cars up ahead of them.
Yeah, it looks like the 15 of Josh Connors was coming back onto the racetrack. Byron Daly had to go up to avoid Josh Connors, and the 2 of Ray Alfala went up high, and I don't think he knew the 14 was there of Matthew Moose, and gets into Moose. Stephen Gilbert gets into the 14, and they go sliding through the grass and through the Legends Oval here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So that will bring out the caution flag, as this will reshuffle the deck just a little bit, as Gorlinski now has the opportunity to come down onto pit road under caution. And yes, Steve Sheehan is caught 1 lap down.
Yeah, this will have a number of the guys who pitted will be a lap down, but they will not pit during this green flag stop or these yellow flag pit stops. That will get them the wave around. They'll get their laps back, but they'll be at the tail end of the lap cars. What this does is it puts them back. The guys like Alfala and Sheehan and those guys, it's going to put them back in the dirty air. These guys who stayed out, like Orlinski, Davies, Wood, these are the guys who are going to be fighting for the lead. And we only have looking at like 26 laps to go, or 23 laps to go from here. So you want to be up front right now. You don't want to be in the dirty air right now. And that's the problem with Ray Alfala, and that's the guys who are battling for this point lead. That's what they like to see. Davies right now looking to make up a lot of spots along with the other guys.
A lot of 2-tire pit stops on that exchange down on pit road, as Gorlinski will lead your field off pit road. We will take a quick pit stop here and come back to the final stretch of green flag racing to the finish at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Round 13. We'll be back after this. Taking a quick look at the pit stops with 22 laps to go when we go back to green flag racing. John Gorlinski on those 2 right side tires will take the advantage with Derek Wood, Josh Parker, Brad Davies, and now John Prather up in the top 5. We will have 22 drivers on the lead lap following the wave arounds, at least 22 cars, as I believe a couple of others will be scored on that lead lap as well. So this is where business picks up, Nim. 22 to go, and now we see who has what for the final run of the checkers.
Yep, strategy is pretty simple now. Strategy is to get as much as you can, as quick as you can. Gorlinski out front. There's guys who pitted early. They were able to get the wave around here. when the lead lap cars made their pit stop under that yellow flag period. That was Thomas Hazard, Jordan Erickson, Ray Alfala, Florian Goddard, Brad Wright, Gene Costa, Vinny Sansoni. Looks like Sheehan is still going to remain a lap down, probably because of that penalty. But those guys were able to get back on the lead lap and able to contend for this fight.
Green silk flies, and the number 21 pulls out to the lead again. Here comes the 81. Down low, 81 of Josh Parker looking to pick up position number 2. He does so. Derek Wood falling back. It's going to put Brad Davies up to position number 3.
John Gorlinski has been the guy to beat all night. He did fall back and even proved while he was back there that he had this very strong car making his way back to the front. He's out front again. He's going to be tough to beat out in that clean air, but one of the faster cars on the track, Brad Davies, is right there in the 3rd spot. We saw Brad getting a little bit loose on that last stint with fresh tires on, so once the tires get heated up and wear in, Brad's going to take the fight to John Gorlinski.
Chris Mayne looking up Derek Wood for position number 4. Brian Schoenberg looking there as well, just behind. And just in front of them, Josh Parker is holding off Brad Davies for position number 2. Great 2-car battles up here in the front. Well, it's not a 2-car battle for the lead. John Gorlinski all by his lonesome out in front.
Yeah, I think Davies wants to get around Parker as soon as possible. Parker doing a great job. He's out front. He's, we talked to him about being in the top 5 or whatever. He's always there every race. A very good driver. He's always there. But right now, I think Davies is a little bit better than he is running up there.
Ray Alfala in the number 2, your point leader, coming in, scored an 18th on the lead lap. He has a lot of work to do in a short time to get there if he wants to get a good finish out of this one. And the 11 all over the back bumper of the 81 of Josh Parker. Parker looking to hold on. Here comes the 11 to the inside. He's going to open the door. The Whiskey River Chevrolet Impala to second.
Yeah, now the race is on. We have the 2 best cars, the 2 drivers who have been the fastest all race long, finally up in the 1st and 2nd spot. Gorlinski right now has a 0.4 second lead over Brad Davies as they go around. The last lap was a 28.8 second for Davies, but Gorlinski's out front. He's got a clean air, and it's going to be Davies' job to get around him.
He's got to get up here and catch him first, as we will complete 146. This time by the line, Gorlinski, Davies, and now Parker under fire from Derek Wood and Chris Mayne. Fantastic run for the 38 of Chris Mayne in the late stages of this one.
Yeah, Mayne now working over the rear bumper of Derek Wood, trying to get some kind of run to make that pass. Mayne looks very good, but now we see Davies starting to stretch it out a little bit over Parker, and Davies trying to get that run, getting up to Gorlinski. He's got a little bit of time. Lap 147 of 62, about 15 laps to go from here. So, he doesn't have a whole lot of time. He's got a little bit of time, but he needs to catch him and start working him over, start making Gorlinski work up those tires.
He's got to try to make him sweat, try to make a mistake. Gorlinski trying to hold on for the victory. As we go down the back straightaway, we put Jesse Atchison another lap down in the Platypus Chevrolet Impala. The 11 now closes in once again, but I think the battle here, at least at this point, Nim, is going to be for 3rd. 54 looking over the 81.
Yeah, looks like Parker doesn't have quite as much as these other cars right now, but Parker doing a great job of getting that car that's not handling so well for him up in the 3rd spot. He's still able to hold on to that position and doing a good job up in the 3rd position, but Wood trying to get a run on him down the back straightaway. The last lap, though, Gorlinski able to maintain his advantage over Davies, still 0.420 seconds back to 2nd place.
As you look at the Brad Davies machine, you look back, here comes the Derek Wood machine, 54 on the inside of the 81. He opens the door, he's going to walk right through. 54, Derek Wood to position number 3. Is Chris Mayne going to try the move now on the number 38? He can't get there in time to make the move on the number 81. 81 looking back over the 54.
Yeah, he just wasn't close enough to make a fight for that position right now. Parker looking low on the 54 car, and maybe Parker's car likes to be behind another car before it starts to work well, but Wood up in the 3rd spot, and Gorlinski is stretching it out. Last time by, half a second, 0.510 over Gorlinski, over Davies. So Gorlinski stretching out the lead over Davies at the moment.
Oh, Chris Mayne flashes a nose underneath Josh Parker, side by side for position number 4. The 38 trying to take it away from the 81. 81 cutting him no slack at a corner number 4. The 81 on the high side gets the run. He will come to the line in that battle for the 4th place position in that 4th place spot, but Chris Mayne takes it back in corner number 2. Chris Mayne in the 38 now takes that position away. Josh Parker going to try to come back on the inside line.
Yeah, Parker wanted to stuff it down in there, but Mayne wasn't having any of it. Mayne takes the position, chops him off, and holds on to that 4th spot. Parker falls back to 5th.
But that let Derek Wood get away from this battle for position number 4, so Derek Wood has to hold on now. He's got about 0.4 of a second between himself and the battle for 4th. We had 10 laps to go that last time by, so it is definitely go time for these drivers that are sitting up inside the top 10. As you see the points leader of Ray Alfala in the number 2 car working up on the 9 at Thomas Hazard. 2 of your points leaders right now, Nim, running 12th and 13th.
Yeah, and Alfala, no matter, they're in 13th position, and I'm sure they want to be higher up, but he's got Thomas Hazard, who is 3rd in points right in front of him, Brad Wright, who is 2nd in points right behind him. All Alfala has to do is finish in a safe spot right now. He needs no more spots. Nobody's going to gain anything on him right now. He's got the advantage of those bonus points for leading a lap. So right now, if Alfala finishes where he is relative to Hazard and Wright, he doesn't lose anything. So he's got it right there where he wants it.
Right where he wants him right now as they work for positions 12 and 13th. It's status quo up in front. Your top 5 have not changed. The only thing that's changed up front is John Prather is closing in on Josh Parker for position number 5. As we work out of corner number 4 for your leaders, we have 155 complete of the 162 lap distance.
Last time by, Gorlinski stretched it out a little bit. It looked like Davies was starting to reel Gorlinski in, but Gorlinski's having none of it. He's maintaining that interval. Right now it's 0.559 as he works around the lap car of Pedro Mujica. Still a half a second back to Davies. Davies not able to close the gap.
6 laps to go right here as Gorlinski leads Brad Davies, this time by 0.5 of a second. So Davies not closing in at all. He would need a caution flag then. And if we get a caution flag here late, we might not go back to green flag racing. So Davies going to have to get up on the wheel and close in about 1/10 a lap.
Yeah, Gorlinski's in the class of the field all day. He's doing it even when he was back in the pack. He's done a great job. He's stretching out the lead right now, at least maintaining the lead. He is the best car on the track. The second best car on the track is right behind him. So these guys with the new tire model have definitely controlled the cars, doing a great job. And Gorlinski looks to be in control of the first race on this tire in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship.
You rode on board with Brad Davies as he tries to close in. You see the 0-1 of Tyler Hudson go yet another lap down into the Ada Sign Wraps car. As they come out of the corner, 158 will be completed right here. So we have just a few laps to go to determine the winner of round number 13.
Gorlinski losing a little bit of time. Davies able to stretch or close the gap just a little bit from over 0.5 seconds last time down to 0.41 seconds this last time. So maybe lap traffic had something to do with it, but we'll see if Davies is able to close the gap as they come across the line this time by.
We said he needed to tick off 1/10 a lap in order to get to John Gorlinski. Did he do it again this time? No, he lost a little bit of time that time. He lost 3/100ths of a second. But we talk about clicking off 1/10 of a second a lap, Nim. You have to do that. Then you have to pass John Gorlinski, and that's going to be a big task for Brad Davies if he wants to win here.
Yep, this time by we're going to have 2 laps to go, and it's going to be a pretty big job for Davies to try to close the gap now. Gorlinski's been in control all race long. He has Davies 0.446 seconds behind the last lap. This time by it's 0.483 seconds, so Gorlinski stretches the gap, and he is in full control of this race.
He needs a bubble. Does Brad Davies out of John Gorlinski? It looks like we will come up on some lap traffic here, but Matthew Moose will more than likely get out of the way of your leaders. This time by, white flag will be up from the starter. 1 lap to go for John Gorlinski.
Gorlinski brings him down the front straightaway. The gap visually stretching out now, 0.479 seconds the last time by. Gorlinski in full control of this race. All he has to do is make it around one more time. Down the back straightaway they come. The gap still stays the same. Lap traffic up ahead looks to get out of the way, but John Gorlinski looks to be in full control.
John Gorlinski, car number 21, will pick up his second career NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship victory. Gorlinski to victory lane at Atlanta. Davies comes home in second. Derek Wood in third. Chris Main comes home in fourth. And Josh Parker rounds out your top five. So Gorlinski will have the opportunity to celebrate here his first win of the season, his second career victory in the top rank series in the iRacing service, and I'm sure Gorlinski is a very happy camper behind the wheel.
Yeah, he got the control of this new tire. They didn't have a whole lot of time to practice on it. iRacing 2.0 is out and is available for you to come race on. Remember, folks, if you're out there and you're not a part of iRacing just yet, go on and visit the website at www.iracing.com, and there you can take advantage of a buy 1 month, get 2 free deals. So 3 months for the price of one. Come join us and check out the fun here at iRacing.
So John Gorlinski will have the opportunity to burn those tires down, those brand new tires down on that race car, as we will get the opportunity to see Gorlinski do the burnout here, and we will reset for the post-race show coming up in just a few moments' time. We will talk to your top finishers and get their thoughts from 162 laps at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So we will take a break, reset, and come back with the post-race show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
iRacing.com is the premier online racing simulation featuring head-to-head competition on your PC. Race from your home PC, competing on the world's best real-world cars and tracks. Thousands of race fans and scores of pro racers like Dale Jr. and Justin Wilson are already racing at iRacing. Experience the thrill of victory yourself and go racing today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back to coverage of round number 13 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And you just witnessed John Gorlinski win his second career race into the series. Brad Davies comes home in second. Derek Wood, Chris Main, Josh Parker, top 5. John Prather in 6th. Brian Schoenberg in 7th. Brian Blackford in 8th. 9th is Jamison Spies. And Justin Lowry comes home in 10th. Great run for those drivers. We are going to go down trackside where Nim Cross has caught up with our second place finisher, Brad Davies.
Brad Davies, good second place run tonight down in the Whiskey River car and the number 11 car. Good run to you tonight. You were able to not have such a good starting spot, but we saw you coming up through the field. How did the new tire model work out for you, and how was your fight up through the field to get that second position?
Well, the fight up to second was really tough. I think I passed more people than anybody. I'm sure somebody else could argue otherwise, but I started back in 12th. I didn't get more than like 10 laps of qualifying in because I was just so focused on my race setup. I couldn't get it right, or at least I didn't think I had a really good race setup all weekend. And I put so much effort into the race setup up until the last minute that I just had a very poor, well, not a very poor, but I kind of started mid-pack there due to not very many laps in qualifying.
Yeah, well, you look real good out there tonight. You're definitely fast, noticeably fast, and just didn't have enough for Gorlinski there at the end.
Now, Gorlinski, I knew going into the race that he was going to be the best car. He had been all week in practice. He was able to run, lap times better than anybody as far as I was concerned. And that's why I put so much time into the race setup, because I just couldn't quite match what he was running all weekend long. And I just didn't have enough for him at the end. I took 4 tires there on the last stop, but it wound up not being enough, because I think he took 2 and we were still about the same speed. So that just goes to show you how good his car was.
Talk to us about the new tire. Tell us how it feels. What's the what do you feel? What do you think you have to work on for the next race?
Well, it feels, in some ways it feels better, in other ways it doesn't. I don't know, it's hard to explain. To me, the car feels really tight on entry. No matter what you do, it won't turn into the corner, and you have to loosen it up so much that you're just wrecking loose coming off. But at the same time, the tire is so forgiving that you don't spin out. It's almost like the car has traction control. It's a really odd feeling. I think they're still working on the tire model, and I think we're all hoping that they're going to make some improvements for the next build. I think it's going to get a lot better from this point forward. The feel is kind of there. It's got a little bit better feel to it overall. You can kind of feel the weight of the car a little bit better than the old tire model. But I still think there's a little bit more work to be done there.
Well, definitely. Obviously, iRacing, it works on it's an ever-evolving service the whole way forward. So no doubt there'll be some improvements as we go along, as there always is. Tell us who makes it happen for you and who got you here.
Well, Whiskey River got me here. They make it happen for me every week with a sponsor back again this year, and I'd like to thank them for that. And anybody in the Charlotte or Jacksonville area, if they get a chance, they need to go check out Whiskey River. I'd like to give a big shout out to the guys back at the drill aisle. They helped me a lot this week with setups, and big thanks to Dale Jr. as well for just putting up with us all.
That is Brad Davies in the second position, and we'll take it back out to Tim Terry with your winner, John Gorlinski.
John Gorlinski down in victory lane after leading 117 laps of this race. Pretty dominating performance here this evening.
Yeah, I still can't really believe it. I'm sitting here with a huge smile on my face, wondering, holy crap. But new tire model came out last week, and we all started working on it. And I kind of didn't like it at first, and I did not think I was going to like it at all. And I started to come up with some good setups, some good changes over the weekend, and came up with something really good by Sunday night, and that's the earliest I've ever been done with a race setup. And it's funny, I was talking to my dad before the weekend, and he asked asked if I could win it, and I told him I could never ever guarantee a win, especially in the DWC, and even especially with the old tire model. So I told him I had a good car and I could run well. And by the time the race started after qualifying, I was really thinking to myself, this is my shot to really make something happen, and I'll be damned if it didn't.
And you made good on that shot. Looked easy early, was out to over a 2.5-second lead on that green flag run. Then at the end of the race, you see Brad Davies inching closer and closer. What was going through your mind when you see that number 11 close?
I was a little worried at first. He apparently made a quote mistake and took 4 tires at the end, and past history shows that 2 tires are just as good as 4 in those kind of runs like that. And I thought I was in a good spot. I knew I had the fastest car. I just knew I had to run some solid laps, but Brad can always pull out that extra 10% when he needs to. And I would be lying if I wasn't a little worried that he was going to be able to catch me. But after a couple laps, it stabilized, and it looked like he started to get tight in my mirror, and I just focused on good laps and just brought it home.
Second career victory in this series. We head to Chicagoland in 2 weeks' time. Can you make it your third?
That would be awesome. I'm glad I got another win after last year because I warp wrecked the entire field at Daytona. So this is like major redemption for me. And Chicago next week, the surface is pretty close bumps wise. So I'm hoping maybe I could repeat that. I mean, I'm gonna bring the same setup and just unload off the truck with that, and hopefully it's just as good.
Before we let you go celebrate the victory, John, who makes it happen for the 21 team?
Gotta thank the Drill Aisle, Wrangler, Dale Jr., my mom and dad. I know they're watching and probably smiling pretty big right now because they always give me crap sometimes that I don't win all the races. Everyone in the race ran a good race. Everyone was clean racing. I guess iRace for making it happen. Friggin' everybody.
There's going to be some big celebrating tonight. John Gorlinski wins at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're going to kick it down to Nimcross, who was caught up with Derek Wood.
Derek, good race tonight. Brought it home in the third position. We're up in the top 5 most of the race, battling. It looked like you had a pretty good setup. How'd your race go?
Yeah, it went all right. I managed to avoid the big wreck in the middle of the race, and that got me good track position after I'd taken 4 tires. And from there, it was just a matter of keeping it off the wall and just bringing it home. My car wasn't quite as fast as Gorlinski and Steve and Ray and Brad. I kept getting a little bit too tight on the long runs, but I had good short run speed. So overall, it was a good night.
We had a couple of incidents up front early in some of those restarts of some big wrecks. Did you find yourself close to any of those?
Yeah, the big one off of 2 in the middle of the race. There were cars spinning all around me, and I kind of just managed to find a hole right in the middle. I watched the replay, and there was literally the only place I could have gone to miss it, and I managed to find it. So that was definitely the big moment of the race for me. That kind of solidified my spot in the top 5.
Well, this should be a pretty good points day for you. Getting yourself back up, maybe closer to the top 5 in points. How are you feeling about your chances for the next 5 races in the season?
Well, I got to figure out how I'm driving the car is making me get a lot tighter than the rest of the guys in the top 10 on long runs. But if I can do that, I think I'll be pretty competitive and have a shot to win every race.
Who makes it happen for you, and who's going to get you to the next race?
First, congrats to John Gorlinski. He drove a great race tonight, and he was pretty much the fastest car in practice all week, so it's cool to see him get a win. Got to thank Junior Motorsports, Whiskey River, all the associate sponsors, Tax Slayer, Swap for Men, JD Laird for painting my car. I think that's about it.
All right, very good. Tim, we'll send it over to Tim, and he's got your 4th place finisher, Chris Main.
Chris Main coming home in position number 4. What a run you gave this number 38 tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was looking forward to it all week with
Gorlinski helping with the setup, I knew we were going to have something just from all the practice we've been running. So it's nice to qualify good and run up front the whole race and actually finish in the top 5.
And was up in the top 5 all night long. This brand new tire model. It looks like it helped you, and it looks like it helped your advantage here this evening at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it kind of suits my style a little bit more. You have to be really, really consistent and really smooth, and I think I'm pretty consistent and smooth, so that helped. But I mean, the help with the setup, you could tell the top 6 cars were all of us, and we all worked together, so that's probably another reason why we were up front.
And it looked like fun there at the end. Yourself, Derek Wood, Josh Parker battling for position, coming down to the checkered flag in this one.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It's always fun to race around guys that you trust like that. I mean, I trust a lot of the people in this league, but those guys, we're out there having fun and racing as hard as we can with the mess that we're put in with the new tire model and the aero and everything. But it's a lot of fun mixing up with those guys.
Coming into this evening, 12th place in the point standings. We are going to have 5 races to go coming out of this Atlanta Motor Speedway race. Of course, we have Texas coming up in a few races as well. What are the goals heading forward to complete this season?
Just try to do what we all did tonight and qualify good and run decent, top 10s, top 5s. And they're all decent tracks, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Before we let you go, who makes it happen for the number 38 team?
I got to thank Spin Master, Air Hogs, PDG Management, McDonald's, David Gorlinski, Dale Jr., Junior Motorsports, everybody at the drill aisle, all those guys. Couldn't do it without them tonight, so I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
There's Chris Main coming home in 4th, and he is a driver to watch in these final few races coming to the completion of this 2011 season. I'm going to kick it over to Nim Cross and a man that always smells good, Josh Parker.
Josh Parker in the Salt for Men car brings it home in the 5th spot tonight. And not like last week where you made it look real easy, Josh. This time you had to fight for it and was able to still bring it home in the top 5.
Yeah, Nim, it wasn't easy. On a serious note, no. I got jacked up in that early incident. Trying to avoid it, I had to slow down a little bit. But Tom was he was put in a bad situation to where he couldn't see what was going on in front of me. He was kind of blinded and locked up his tires and slid right into me. And I thought it was over because I went flying in the air. So I thought my axle somewhere in the rear end got all jacked up. But I pitted because I wasn't sure what was wrong with my car. Some people told me I had a little damage. I pitted, only had 20 seconds of damage. So went back out there and it slowed me down about a 10th or so on the long run. But other than that, it was all right. I'm pretty happy for a 5th.
Yeah, 5th place will bring you home and get you good points and maybe move you up a couple spots in that chase for the title. We got 5 races left to go. Chicago next. How do you feel your chances are at the run?
I don't know. When the new bill came out, I tried a few things off the setups that we were provided and found some speed right away. And luckily, we have someone smart, tracking out style like Gorlinski to be there. And so if I run into trouble, I'll just talk to him. But hopefully we'll be all right. I mean, look at top 6, JRM. So you really can't ask for much there. Hopefully we can do it again there.
Well, we saw you had some close calls, and hopefully you'll have a little bit better luck this week. But a great job fighting and bringing it back home in the 5th position. Who makes it happen for you?
Obviously everyone at drill aisle, Junior and JRM. Thank all those guys. Swap for Men, Degree for Men, Take a Shower, Tim Terry, Smell Nice, Deodorize Yourself. If you can shave your head and even slap some on your head if you want to. All the associates, I don't know them like Derek does, but all them. And JD Laird, I never thank him for painting my car, so I gotta thank him for painting my car. And that's pretty much it. Everyone else puts time and effort into this. You guys, Nim, I know you love me and I love you. So thank you for all you do.
Oh, we appreciate that, there, Mr. Parker, and we'll be sending it back up to Tim, and we'll be getting ready for next week.
And our next oval race is the Chicagoland Speedway coming up in 2 weeks' time. That is on August 17th as we close in on Saturday as well. Saturday is going to be a fantastic show coming up for the NVIDIA series. And Nim, I know you're always excited to watch some road racing.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I won my prototype sports car race this week, but love road racing. As the NVIDIA series heads to Mid-Ohio in a couple weeks, the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship will head to Chicago.
Those are going to be two fantastic races. Keep it locked on PSR TV, PSRTV.com, or if you're on Twitter, it's twitter.com/PSRTV or facebook.com/PSRTV to get all the updates from the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship or the iRacing.com NVIDIA Series on the roadside. That's going to do it for us here this evening on PSR TV from round number 13 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So for our full staff, Zach Stanko, Ilka Hapola, Ian Bushing, Chuck Johnson, Matt Racing Kid Thomas, and Nim Cross, my name is Tim Terry, saying that we will see you in 2 weeks' time when we say, let's go racing from the Chicagoland Motor Speedway. Keep the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track.